The pirates ran up the stairs. Elizabeth was afraid and quickly closed her bedroom door. The pirates hit the door again and again. After some time, they broke the door and went into the room. But they couldn't see Elizabeth. Suddenly, Elizabeth ran past them and out of the room. She ran down the stairs and into the dining room. The pirates ran after her. She looked for a gun, for a sword, but there was nothing there. She heard the pirates on the stairs. Where could she go? There was a small closet at the back of the room. She went in and closed the door, very quietly. The pirates came into the room.
"Come out, little girl," called Pintel. "You have something and we want it."
"The gold is calling to us," said Ragetti. "Come out." In the closet, Elizabeth didn't move. She had the gold medallion in her hand. And then, suddenly, the door opened, and there was Ragetti. His one eye looked at her. "Hello, little girl." Chapter 6. On the Black Pearl. The pirates took Elizabeth to the Black Pearl in a small boat. When they climbed out, a man came out of the fog. "Good day," he said to Elizabeth. "My name is Barbosa. I'm the captain of the Black Pearl." Elizabeth looked around her. There were pirates everywhere. She was afraid, but she didn't show it. "I am Elizabeth Turner." She didn't want to use her name. "I want you to leave Port Royal," she said. "Leave and never come back." The pirates laughed. "I'm sorry," said Barbosa, "but that isn't possible. We're looking for—" "I know," shouted Elizabeth. She ran to the side of the boat and then showed them the gold medallion. "You're looking for this. Come near me and I'll throw it in the water." The pirates didn't speak. Their eyes were on the medallion. "I know you want it," said Elizabeth. "I know this ship. After 8 years, I remember it. Now go and never come back." The pirates watched her, carefully. Elizabeth tried again. With the medallion in her hand, she looked down at the water. "I'll throw it away now." Okay, said Barbosa. "You win. Give me the medallion, and we'll leave." Elizabeth gave him the gold medallion. "Stop the guns!" shouted Barbosa. "We're leaving." He looked at Elizabeth. "And, Miss Turner, you're going to come with us." "But you have to take me back," Elizabeth said. "No," said the pirate, and he smiled. "I stopped the guns, and we're going. But I'm not going to take you home. You're going to stay with us." Chapter 7. On the Dauntless and the Interceptor. When Will Turner woke up, his head hurt. But he thought only of Elizabeth. He ran to the governor's office. He found the governor, Norrington, and the 2 sailors. "The pirates have Elizabeth!" he shouted. Norrington looked at him. "Mr. Turner," he said, "you're a blacksmith. This isn't your fight. Please go." "We have to find her," Will said. Of course we do, Norrington said. And we will. Jack Sparrow, said one of the sailors. He knows about the Black Pearl. Go to Sparrow. Ask him, shouted Will. We can follow the ship. He can take us to it. Mr. Turner, said Norrington. Please leave us. Now. He turned away. Will ran to Jack's cell. Hey, you! Sparrow! Do you know the pirate ship? The Black Pearl? Yes, said Jack. Where does it go? It sails from the Isla de Muerta, the island of the dead. You know the stories. But why ask me? They took Miss Swan, said Will angrily. The pirate smiled. Oh, so you did find a girl, he said. But what can I do? I'm in here. I can help you, said Will. I can get you out of here, and then you can help me. Jack Sparrow thought about this. What's your name, boy? He asked. Turner. Will Turner. Turner. Okay, Mr. Turner. I'll help you. But first, I have to get out of this cell. Will smiled. He was a blacksmith. He could open a cell door. When Jack was free, he and Will went down to the harbor. What are we going to do? Asked Will. We're going to take that ship, said Jack. The Dauntless. Take it? You're crazy. But Will followed Jack. The two men swam to the ship and climbed up the side. There were sailors on the ship. Don't move, Jack told them. I have a gun. I want this ship. The sailors looked at Jack, then at Will. They started to laugh. But this is a big ship, one of them said. You can't sail it with two men. We can try, said Jack. Now leave. The sailors looked at Jack and Will. They looked at the gun. And then they got into a small boat and left the Dauntless. From the Interceptor, Norrington saw Will and Jack on the Dauntless. What? He thought. You? But how? And where are you going on my ship? He turned to his sailors. Quickly, he said. We have to catch the Dauntless. Now. The Interceptor was a faster ship, and minutes later, it was near the Dauntless. Let's take them, shouted Norrington. He and his men went onto the Dauntless. Only one man stayed on the Interceptor. Norrington's men looked everywhere. Find them! I know they're here! The captain shouted. But Jack and Will weren't on the Dauntless. They were now on the Interceptor. Hello, said Jack to the only sailor there. The man looked at him. He looked at Jack's sword, and he looked at Jack's gun. Can you swim? Asked Jack. Like a fish, said the sailor. Good, said Jack, and threw him in the water. Commodore Norrington and his men saw the sailor when he fell. Stop them! Norrington shouted. Stop them! But it was too late. The Interceptor sailed out of the harbor. Chapter 8. Dinner with Barbosa. Elizabeth sat at a table on the Black Pearl. There was a lot of food on the table, bread, fruit, and meat. Captain Barbosa sat at the other end of the table. "Are you hungry?" he said. "Please eat." Elizabeth was very hungry. She took some bread and some meat and started to eat. "Have a drink," said Barbosa. Elizabeth drank. Then she looked at the captain. "You're not eating," she said. "Is something wrong with the food? Are you trying to kill me? You eat it!" She gave the captain some bread, but he didn't take it. "I can't eat it," Barbosa said unhappily. "I'd like to. I'd love to. But I can't." He took the gold medallion from his coat. "This gold, Miss Turner, is very old. The Aztecs gave it to Cortez when he arrived in the Americas. There are many, many more of these, and the Aztecs put a curse on them. We found the gold on the Isla de Muerta," said Barbosa. "We took all of it. We bought food and drink with it. But then, suddenly, we couldn't eat and we couldn't drink. When we took the money, Miss Turner, the curse came with it." The captain suddenly looked happier. "But now we can end the curse. We had to find all of the gold. Then we had to put it back on the island and give some blood. For 10 years we looked for the gold on every ship and in every town." "And now you have all of it," Elizabeth said. "Yes. With this gold medallion, we have all of it. Thank you." She thought for a minute. "You have everything, and you're going to be free of the curse. So why am I here?" "There's one more thing. You're Elizabeth Turner, the daughter of the pirate Bill Turner. He was one of us, but he isn't with us now. We have to have your blood." Elizabeth didn't understand, but she was afraid. Her blood? She jumped up and tried to run, but Barbosa stood in front of her. She took a knife and pushed it into him. Then she ran outside. She closed her eyes. Her blood. What could she do? She opened her eyes and saw the pirates at work. Then she looked carefully. They weren't men. They were skeletons. Barbosa was behind her. "Now, Miss Turner, you can really see us." He smiled. "Yes, Miss Turner, we're all ghosts. You're in a ghost story." Chapter 9. The Island of Tortuga. Will helped Jack on the Interceptor. The weather was good, and the wind was strong. "You're not a sailor," said Jack. "You're a blacksmith. Where did you learn about sailing?" "I worked on a ship when I was a boy," said Will. "I came from England. I wanted to find my father, Bill Turner." "Is that right?" "You knew my father," said Will. "I asked for your help when you were in this cell. You weren't interested. But when you heard my name, you said yes." "Oh, I knew him," said Jack. "Everybody knew Bill. He was a good man. He was a good pirate." "No," shouted Will. "You're wrong. My father wasn't a pirate." He pulled out his sword. "Put that away," Jack told him. "Why are you getting excited? Your father was a pirate, Mr. Turner. A good man, but a pirate. Now help me with this ship." They arrived at the island of Tortuga. Tortuga was a small, dirty place. It had a harbor, some houses, an old store, and 4 bars. Bad men and pirates went there. They wanted to drink and to find women. "Come with me," Jack said to Will. "We have to find some sailors for our ship." They went into a bar and found an old man. His name was Yoshimi Gibbs. He was asleep and he had a bottle in his hand. Jack kicked him. "Wake up, Mr. Gibbs. We have work for you." Slowly, Gibbs opened his eyes. "Oh, it's you. What do you want?" Jack moved near to the old man. He didn't want Will to hear their conversation. "We're looking for a ship," he said. "The Black Pearl." "The Black Pearl?" The old man sat up. "That's not smart, Jack Sparrow. You know the stories about the Black Pearl. Do you think Barbosa is going to give you his ship?" Jack laughed. "Oh, I think he will," he answered. He looked at Will, and the old man's eyes followed his. "I have the boy, and they want him." "That boy?" "The child of Bill Turner. His only child." Yoshimi Gibbs didn't speak. He thought about Jack's words, and then he smiled. "Ah, I understand," he said. "His only child. I think I can find some sailors for you now." Gibbs did his job well. Some of the sailors were small, some were tall, some were fat, some were thin, some were smart, some were stupid. But they were all good sailors. They stood in front of their captain. Jack looked at them. Then he showed them the ship. "There's my ship, the Interceptor," he said. "It is a fine ship, a fast ship. Sail with me, and at the end, you can have it. What do you say?" The sailor shouted yes. Jack stopped in front of a sailor in a very big hat. Suddenly, a hand came out from under the hat and hit him. Jack fell to the ground. The hat fell too, and showed a woman's face. Jack stood up. "Hello, Anna Maria," he said. "You took my boat," she shouted. "Ah," said Jack slowly. "And where is it now? Do you have it?" "No, I don't. But this ship is better." He turned to the men. "Get ready," he said. "We're going to sail, and Anna Maria will give you your work." The sailors ran onto the ship, and the Interceptor left Tortuga. Gibbs and Will sat and looked out at the ocean. "Do you know Captain Sparrow well?" Will asked. "Oh, yes," said Gibbs. "I knew him when he was captain of the Black Pearl." "What? Captain of the Black Pearl? But how—" "Listen to the story," said Gibbs. "Jack Sparrow was a pirate, but he was a good man. He found the Isla de Muerta, and there was gold for every sailor on his ship. But his sailors didn't want Jack Sparrow. They wanted the gold. So they left him on an island with no food and no water, only his gun." "They left him?"